Hi, everybody. I am all bundled up today because we have had the pleasure of having our furnace go out. And no, this is not a halo. It's just the way that the lighting is hit, but I realize that it's covering gray, so I might film myself this way all the time. So this is actually our substitute broadcast for our meeting last night, which we canceled because on Saturday and Sunday here in Michigan, we had a snowstorm. And on Monday, there was some back road potential issues, and so we just canceled the meeting. And so this is in replacement of the meeting. We were on a 4-week lesson plan, and last night was actually the fourth lesson in the session. And so I wanted to go ahead and give that, and maybe for those of you who have not seen 1 through 3, give you a little bit of a recap. And I will make this flyer available on the GEMS Facebook page. But this is basically a way for you to analyze what's going on with your business. Most of the time, we can look at our business and we can say, you know what, I need to be better at. And in Mary Kay, there's really only 2 areas that you need to work on, but there are different segments of what you might have to do within those areas. One is your sales and one is your recruiting. And for the first 2 weeks, we talked about sales. And what it does is it's a really cool chart that just says, you know, if you are having problems in this area, then it is one of these problems or it's one of these problems. And it's a way for you to look at it and go, oh, you know what? This is my area of where my problems are. This is the area that I need to work on to get better. And so we did that for the first 2 weeks. We worked on sales. And then last week we started working on recruiting. And we said that recruiting is really not about you moving into a higher leadership position in Mary Kay. It absolutely can get you to that if that's what you want. But that's really not what it's about. Recruiting is about the woman that needs what Mary Kay has to offer. It is about letting her have an avenue of income away from maybe another job. It's for her to have as much income as she wants, everything from a little extra spending money in the week for groceries or some extra money for a date night or putting away for college or something like that. That's what it's for. It's for the other woman. You should never ever look at it as something for you. And most of us never looked at our life when we were younger and said, oh, I want to be a Mary Kay consultant. Most of us probably didn't even know what that was. And yet thousands upon tens of thousands upon maybe even hundreds of thousands of women's lives have been changed for just multitudes of money and position and personal growth and all of those things that a Mary Kay consultant position can get you. So I wanted to continue on with that. And one of the things with, and what we said about even sales and also about recruiting is that, for instance, if you think that you have low sales for you might be totally different than low sales for a national sales director. It's all about what it is that you want out of your business. And so that is why this is an area for you to sit back and analyze for your business. So we said last week that recruiting, not having people on your team, is due to it is obviously means you have low number of team members, and it can be that you are doing too few interviews. And what we said is that, you know, that might be a reason for it, maybe because you have poor time organization. Maybe you really have low activity and you're not doing your Mary Kay business consistently. Maybe you are not following up with your customers and your potential teammates, because we said that building building a team base really is about layering and having them fall in love with the product and then having them see the benefits of being a Mary Kay consultant themselves, not only for the 50% discount, but also for the potential money. But probably the biggest area is for the low numbers is, at least for a lot of us, is low self-image. And that may be due to the fact that we don't feel that we're very high up in our Mary Kay position. We're not where we want to be. And so therefore it's like, why would anybody want to be something that I am and I'm not doing the job? How can I have her see the potential in a Mary Kay business if I'm not doing my Mary Kay business to the fullest? So obviously, again, that is something that you can always talk to me about, but you can always refer to people who are in a position where this potential teammate might want to be, whether it is, again, date money, substituting her career out, or maybe, being a millionaire someday. It's whatever. And then the other one we talked about was the inability to get appointments. And we can go through all of these. I don't want to take the time on what we did last week. But one of the things that where we're going tonight, kind of the area, is that we're not closing an interview. So that means that if you actually have a time where you are talking with somebody and you say, so that's what Mary Kay is all about, and you kind of leave it open-ended, that is not closing the interview. You really, really, really have to be able to ask those important questions. One of the reasons why this might not work in closing the interview is not easy for you to do, is that you may be getting weak prospects. And let me give you an example of that. A weak prospect is someone who is kind of on the fence about a Mary Kay position. They don't see the need for it. They don't, in their life, they don't, they have so many excuses and reasons why they can't do it. Going into the interview, if this is how this person is, it's absolutely always worth interviewing, but 9 out of 10 times, that's going to be a weak prospect. That's going to be someone who doesn't see the potential in a Mary Kay business. So that's just one area, and that happens all the time. And that is, you need to go and talk to the women who make you a little uncomfortable, who make you a little nervous, who look like they've got it all put together. Those are the women that you want to interview, because 9 out of 10 times, again, you don't know what's going on in their life, and they may love the idea of being able to grow a business that they can call their own. They may love the idea of being able to go out and meet people and talk with them and gain new friends and new sisters in as a consultant and stuff. So then the other one, the other way, if it's not the weak prospect and you're still not being able to close an interview, it's usually due to poor interviewing techniques. And there are a ton, I'm going to grab something here. There are a ton of different ways to interview. And I've heard everything from having an interview booklet to having a, to actually interviewing them like a business, to ask them what's the most important thing to them. But typically, Mary Kay will stand behind what's called a 4-point recruiting plan. And this is just a really easy sheet that just kind of talks about Mary Kay and what it has to offer. So we have, of course, the money, the cars, the prizes, and the flexibility. And all of those have stories within themselves. But you see how simple this is? This is really easy. And typically what I will do is when I see someone, I will just say, what most interests you? We're going to talk about all of them, but what interests you most? Let's go there first. And so then we can kind of walk through it. And there's points within these. Not the second potential area of poor interviewing technique is not selling the end result and the business benefits. That's, I think, very closely tied to low self-image. I think that when you don't feel like it, again, that you're doing your business the way that you want to, it's really hard to say, do it just like me, because you're not doing it the way you feel it should be done. So it's about selling what's possible, what could happen, the tax benefits, and again, of course, the money, the potential cars, all of that kind of thing. So not selling the end result. Not overcoming objections. And there are a million. In fact, this came from Livonia sales director, Carrie Bloink. And it's just a list of things that people will talk about, and it's objections. And I had a million of them. So you need to know that it's pretty typical for people to have and be a little bit leery of starting something on their own. It's pretty normal, and so they will come up with objections. So for instance, and this will give a million, again, different reasons, but it says, if she were to say, I'm not the sales type, which is a big one, because they think they need to be going out there door to door. And it says, so when something happens, they're giving examples. What do you love? I'm not the sales type. What do you love about the products? What do you mean by sales type? Can you explain that to me? Because usually if you can kind of peel the onion a little bit, you understand where she's coming from. And usually there's major misconceptions behind some of their objections. Then the other one is lack of enthusiasm. And I have heard this so much. I have done this, unfortunately, a couple of times, where someone will, I will be interviewing somebody and I'm making it sound like, they're ordering their lunch at McDonald's or something like that. I'm like, oh, you want a Big Mac? And if I'm not talking enthusiastically about Mary Kay, 10 to 1, they're not going to feel very enthusiastic about Mary Kay. Enthusiasm is huge. I can honestly say I love what I do. I frequently, today I just got a huge order, and I walked through the house going, I love Mary Kay, I love Mary Kay. How awesome is that? So lack of enthusiasm can be an issue. And then not closing the interview is back to where it was before. And you know what that is? That's not asking them where they are. If you've been to a meeting before, or if you've ever seen this in a Mary Kay video or whatever, you know that we ask them. We ask them where they are on this. On a scale of 1 to 5, you can't do a 3 because a 3 is cheating. It's on the fence. For 1 being you'd never be interested in this. You'd rather sit naked on the corner selling pencils. That's a 1. And a 5 is sign me up. On a scale of 1 to 5, no 3s. Where are you? And if they are, I've seen people become a consultant from a 1. So it's totally possible. But for sure, if they're a 4 or 5, sign them up right there on the spot. 4, talk to them a little bit more about it. Keep their interest. This is such an amazing job, and it's such a riskless job that I hope that you will take this sheet that I have been talking about for the last 4 meetings and take this sheet and analyze your business. Ladies, I don't ever want to hear anybody say, this isn't for me. It doesn't work for me. Because you know what? There are over 3 million consultants around the world, and somebody out there has your personality and maybe even your life issues. And you know what? It works. It absolutely works. And the difference between it not working for you and what you're thinking is not working from you and having you be, go as high and as far as you want to Mary Kay is analyzing your business and fixing what isn't working. Okay? My job is to help you. I can't tell you how much I want to do that for you and have you realize all the things that I've realized so far and the things that I plan to realize in the future. Oh my goodness, ladies, this is a life-changing business. Have a great night. Bye-bye.